Hello, I'm Danny and welcome to BHP Bikes, and today I decided it was time to do some tyre talk. Now, Metzeler gave me a set of M7RRs to try out. Now, I'm going to give you a bit of backstory about this. Basically, I was complaining somewhere about the fact that on my Pirelli Rosso 2s I was getting about 1400 miles and then I have to start looking and getting replacements for them because they're very soft and I was just ripping them apart. The cost of a new rear tyre every 1500 miles for me is quite substantial, and it kind of made me not ride as much, and it was kind of just a bit disappointing. It was just, it's just an extra cost that I could have done without. So Metzeler got in touch and we had lots of conversations about which tyres I think would be best suited for my style of riding, and we went with the M7RRs. Now, these tyres were given to me in May, I think. It was a long time ago now. And I decided I just didn't want to just do the normal review where you throw them on and yeah, these feel great. I was going to do a proper review, and now we decided that we were going to go down to Spain, and you would have seen those videos before. And the thing is, if we'd have used the Pirelli Rosso 2s, with the amount of miles I would have done, the tyres would have been bald as a badger's ass before the end of the trip, and I'd need to find a new rear tyre, etc. So anyway, so we went down to Spain, and well, 4,500 miles later on, we are still on the same tyres. With any new tyre, riding in the wet is pretty much where the big test comes from. Most tyres are grippy in the dry. These tyres were developed for the Isle of Man TT, so you've got kind of sketchy roads but at high speeds, and so yeah, so they're pretty much the ultimate kind of fast road rider, I'd say, who's quite enthusiastic and loves pinning it into bends and stuff. So I mean, when I read about that and Metzeler said that kind of made me feel a lot more confident the tyre was going to be suitable for what I actually want to do. And the biggest test for that was when I was in Andorra. On the way into Andorra, we had some pretty horrific rain, and I didn't ride any different or any slower than I really would have done before. And I mean, that's partly because the front tyre is made of 100% silica, which gives it a lot better grip. And I was going into corners, and normally you get a bit scared where you think the front's going to wash out and whatnot, and to be honest, I had no problems with that at all. It was absolutely perfect. The only time I had any problems and the traction control kicked in was I was going round a bend and it was like a zebra crossing, and I gave it a bit of throttle and the back stepped, but that was only for a gnat's cock of a time. It was nothing really to worry about. So anyway, let's get back to the rear tyre. So the rear tyre is a dual compound, so through the strip here it's about 45, oh there we go, about 45-ish mil. There is it's a harder compound, and it's about 30% of the tyre, and then on the sides, or the shoulders as tyre professionals call them, the tyre is a lot softer. But the tyre actually has the hard compound all the way round, and then the soft stuff is laid over the top, so you still get good strong shoulders on the tyre. So when you dip it into a corner, it doesn't kind of wallow and then go in, it kind of drops in. And what I found, if you watched my videos before, was that I was dropping it into corners, but it would drop in a lot quicker than the Pirelli Rosso's 2s were, and it was very unnerving at first, because it felt like you were losing traction, but actually it's just got a much quicker and more responsive drop in. And that was something, if you watched the videos before, you'd hear me going, oh, I'm not getting my strips over and stuff, and that was because I kind of lost confidence with it, because I didn't think it had as much grip as it did, and then as soon as you realise actually it's just dropping in a lot quicker, suddenly you've got the bike tipped right over, and it is absolutely fantastic. So I've always mentioned the front is 100% silica, so that obviously has great traction throughout the wet. In the dry, no problems. Generally, as a rule, I've not had any problems at all. I mean, the front, on most bikes, I get worried about losing the front end, but with these Metzlers, no bother whatsoever. What else can I say about these tyres? Right, so these tyres, I mean, this is an S1000xr, it's 165 horsepower. These tyres, as I said mentioned before, were developed for the Isle of Man TT, so they're a kind of a fast road tyre, and I like riding quickly, but I love bends. But also, due to my style of riding, I also do a lot of miles where I'll be sat on the motorway, or so wearing the middle of a tyre out is frustrating. And on the Ross 02s, I was just trashing through them. It was just becoming very annoying. The other thing is these tyres were fantastic in the cold. We were up in the mountains in Andorra, and there was snow and ice and everything, and the temperatures were plummeting, and the level of grip was still fantastic. I mean, I cannot complain about how much grip I had. All the way through, all through the bends on the cold days, it was perfect. Straight out of the box, literally jumped straight on the bike, and you cranked right over into a corner. The tyres just performed perfectly. They, as you can also tell, I mean, I've done, say, 4,500 miles, and I'll try and show you this. So you can actually see, you can actually see the compound. Let me get my finger in the shot there. So there, that's the hard part of the compound. So it's probably, yeah, it's probably about 40 mil. But you can also see that there's not actually any flat spots. You're not getting any. The handling of the bike isn't changing as the tyre wears out. In fact, it's riding just as good now as it did when I first put the tyre on the bike. So yeah, I mean, it's such a good tyre. I mean, I don't normally rave about stuff, and I must point out that I'm not being paid to do a good review, but I'm not sure I could find a better tyre, a better all-round tyre at that. It's very difficult. I mean, the Pro Rosso 2s were great tyres and loads of confidence and whatever, but frankly, it just the cost. It became a cost you have to put in with petrol, and I could do 1,500 miles in a weekend. That means at some point, you're going to be riding illegally, and it's just a ball ache. But I mean, so I've done 4,500 miles on these tyres, so I reckon I could probably get another 2,000 miles out of that. So that probably might see me through next year as well, which is. You can't believe it. That's bloody brilliant, isn't it? Obviously, I've not done any track days, but this tyre, from what I've read and what I've heard about Metzeler, are ideal for track days. It does get eaten quite quickly, but it's got to be an everyday tyre for someone that wants to drive enthusiastically, and and also does a few miles on the motorway as well. I'm hoping that kind of gives you a quick insight into my thoughts on these tyres, and most of you probably know what I thought about these tyres before, because all the way through my blogs I'm always commenting at how great the bike feels, and yeah, just generally I've not had any complaints with it. The only problem I had was on my trip was getting rid of the chicken strips, but that was just because of the quicker drop in, and that was if you weren't expecting it, it took a lot of getting used to. But also, the roads where I was riding were on like single track roads, which were very sketchy at best. But yeah, I mean, normally, I say you've seen my videos before. Normally, my chicken strips are down to the last 10 mil of a tyre, so I'm not too worried about them. But yeah, other than that, I'd like to thank Metzeler for sending them to me. And yeah, I'm looking forward to, hopefully they'll send me some more tyres to try out, because it's always good to try new things and basically just have a play with stuff. So yeah, thank you to Metzeler. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do make sure you like, share, subscribe. Give me the thumbs up, and I'll catch you all very soon.